The Galactic Council had made many mistakes in its 12,000-year history, but inviting humanity to participate in the Universal Student Exchange Program would later be ranked among the top 3. Sarah Martinez stepped off the transport shuttle onto Station Kepler 9 with the kind of confidence that made the Veritix security officers instinctively reach for their plasma batons. The young Australian woman wore a bright smile, carried a suspiciously bulging duffel bag, and had already managed to befriend the pilot during the 6-hour journey from Earth. Gage, she called out to the reception committee, her voice echoing through the sterile docking bay. Sarah Martinez, reporting for the exchange program. You blokes ready for a ripper of a semester? The station's administrative director, a towering Zelthian named Quevexki, consulted his datapad with 4 of his 6 eyes, while the remaining 2 studied this peculiar human specimen. According to her file, Sarah was studying xenobiology and cultural anthropology. What the file didn't mention was the gleam of barely contained chaos in her eyes. Welcome, human Sarah, Quevex intoned formally. You will be assigned quarters in Sector 7 and will begin your studies tomorrow. I trust you will find our facilities adequate, mate. This place is brilliant. Sarah gazed around at the massive station, her eyes wide with genuine wonder. Way better than the pictures. Hey, is it true you've got a zero-gravity swimming pool? Before Quevex could respond, another human approached from the nearby observation deck. Wesley Chen, an American exchange student who had arrived 3 weeks earlier, wore an expression somewhere between amusement and concern. You're the other human? Sarah asked, immediately extending her hand. Sarah Brisman, Wesley, California. He shook her hand, then lowered his voice. Quick tip: the Zelthians consider direct eye contact during first meetings to be extremely aggressive. You've been staring at him with all 2 of your eyes. Sarah glanced back at Quevex, who had indeed turned a rather alarming shade of purple. Ah, crikey. My bad, mate. Where I'm from, that just means I'm paying attention. The first incident occurred within 48 hours. The station's cafeteria served over 400 species, each with their own dietary requirements and cultural eating customs. The hive minds of Sector 9 ate in complete silence. The aquatic Delphonians required specialized water chambers. The crystalline Lithians absorbed minerals through osmosis. And then there was Sarah, who had somehow convinced a group of Veritix warriors to try Vetamite. I promise, it's a delicacy on Earth, she insisted, spreading the dark paste on some kind of protein wafer. Very popular. Everyone loves it. Wesley, who had been peacefully consuming his synthesized lunch, watched in horror as the first Vatix warrior took a massive bite. The creature's face, if you could call it, that went through several colors before it began making sounds that translated roughly as taste bud genocide. Sarah, what are you doing? Wesley hissed. Cultural exchange, mate. Besides, they challenged me to a drinking contest last night. This is payback. She grinned wickedly. They didn't specify what we'd be drinking. 3 liters of ginger beer later, they learned that humans can, in fact, handle carbonation. The second incident involved the station's wildlife. Kepler-9 maintained a biodome containing species from across the galaxy for research purposes. It was strictly off-limits to students. Naturally, Sarah found her way in within the first week, and naturally, Wesley followed to prevent complete disaster. How did you even get past the security locks? Wesley demanded as they crept through the humid artificial jungle. Quevex's assistant fancies me, Sarah replied cheerfully. Nice bloke. 7 tentacles. Very helpful. I just asked nicely. Speaking of which, look at this little beauty. She was holding what appeared to be a small furry creature with too many teeth and glowing red eyes. According to the nearby placard, it was a xenoraptor from the Death World catalog. Class 5 dangerous. Sarah, put it down. But it's adorable. Look at its little murder mitt. The creature began purring, sound like rocks in a blender. That's not purring. That's the sound they make before they reproduce via explosive mitosis. Sarah looked at the creature, then at Wesley, then at the creature again. You're having me on, I'm really not. She set it down very carefully. They ran the third incident made station history. The Galactic Athletic Games were a sacred tradition, a way for species to demonstrate physical prowess without resorting to warfare. The Veritix dominated strength competitions. The aerials won every flight-based event. The aquatics ruled swimming. And then Sarah entered the endurance run. Humans are persistence hunters, Wesley explained to a crowd of bewildered aliens as Sarah jogged past on her 47th lap. The next closest competitor had collapsed at lap 12. We evolved to chase prey until it literally died of exhaustion. This is actually normal for us. Quevex watched in growing horror as Sarah showed no signs of slowing down. How long can she continue? Wesley shrugged. She mentioned something about ultramarathons back home. Could be hours, maybe days. I honestly don't know. Days. Quevex's color shifted through several alarmed hues. Yeah, humans are kind of weird about not giving up. It's a whole thing. Sarah eventually stopped at lap 73, not because she was tired, but because she got bored. She claimed first place, broke 3 station records, and somehow convinced the warriors to teach her their combat techniques. The final incident that sealed humanity's reputation occurred during the station cultural festival. Each species was invited to share something from their homeworld. The Lithians sang crystalline harmonies. The Delphonians performed water dances. The hive minds demonstrated perfect synchronization. Sarah and Wesley decided to introduce everyone to Australian-American barbecue. Is that fire? Quevex asked, staring at the portable grill Sarah had somehow acquired. Yeah, mate. How else are you supposed to cook? Most species banned open flame cooking 12,000 years ago. Well, that's just sad. Sarah flipped a burger with practiced ease. You've been missing out. By evening's end, half the station had tried grilled food. The Veretics warriors declared it honorable combat against sustenance. The crystalline Lithians discovered they could absorb the smoke for a pleasant buzz. Even Quevex admitted that charred vegetation wasn't entirely terrible. As the semester drew to a close, Quevex filed his report on the human exchange students. Recommendation: limit human participation to 1 per station. They are individually manageable, but in groups they become exponentially more chaotic. The female specimen Sarah has befriended every warrior species, introduced dangerous food preparation methods, and somehow adopted a Class 5 dangerous creature as a pet. The male specimen, Wesley, serves primarily as damage control and translator of human behavior. However, morale has increased 47%. Interspecies cooperation is at an all-time high, and the station's combat teams have requested permanent human tactical advisors. Proceed with caution. Humanity is simultaneously our greatest liability and our most valuable asset. Sarah read the report later, leaked to her by Quevex's assistant. She grinned. Ripper.